Hey everyone, my name is Michael Sherman, or I go by Mikito on OGS. And I figured today I would show you how I review my students' games. So both Marty and Chip have taken lessons from me many times, and they have seen a lot of games. And so I wanted to use this game to show you how I review, games in general. So let's start. So the first thing that I do is I download the game and then I throw it into AI Sensei. End of the video. That's it. No, I'm kidding. So what I do is I first, well, yes, actually I do. I take the game and throw it in AI Sensei. But then after that, what I do is look through the game and see if there's any really strange moves or like things that I can just know I can talk about, or if they're wrong, or even if they're right. Sometimes I'll mark things that are like really well done. Um, and so that's the first step. And so I look through this game, and already this is quite a strange game to be playing both 5/4s, but I guess with this move he cares more about this side, which is funny because these stones also care more about this side, right? And when they enclose, then their development is this way. So they're competing for like sides. All right. My teacher Inseong said this is a bad approach, but I know that Marty's told me that this has come from the book Fuseki Revolution from Kisiedo, and I haven't read it myself, but I have actually used it, and I've had pretty good results with this opening myself. So anyway, I'll continue. But um, so this is really far, but I think it's okay. And answering by strengthening itself to make this weaker and to build some territory. I like this move. Yep, this actually this shoulder hit doesn't feel too good, because what it's doing is it allows black to be ahead in the race. As we can see now, white is behind, and so it kind of just helped black make this corner very helpful, like sorry, very secure. And so I guess this is why he ran away instead of like trying to strengthen this or anything. But maybe instead we can find an attachment, but I guess this would become very complicated, right? Um, Even if we just do like the pinwheel, this looks really messy for black. Yeah, black would get killed here. So that's why this attachment looks pretty good in my opinion. So when you're outnumbered, you want to make sure to use your attachments, and so they can complicate the game a bit, and usually it gives you some nice defensive moves. Now, was that the only variation I should look at, right? I mean, should I look at these Ataris? Maybe. But I see two weaknesses. Maybe it would just be addressed. But what I do is if I really don't know like the best way to answer this stuff, what I'll do is mark it as I did, and then later, after I look through the full game, then I'll come here and look at AI Sensei. So this might be a good way for you to review your own games. Essentially, you want to look at moves that looked awkward or felt weird or didn't come work out right, and then you can mark them and then look them up with the AI. So that's what I'm going to do in this instance as well. So this is good. White is very much getting boxed in, and white is getting out, so that is good too. Maybe I would jump, but either way is fine. So let's continue. Okay, for black, this is wrong, and so I'll mark it as such. In this case, I would put much more pressure on white here. All right, I can't definitively say it's wrong, right? We're gonna check the AI after, but what I'm feeling is that there is a Sente move which makes white be put into kind of a bad shape, right? White is getting like completely undercut, and it's going to be very difficult for white to make an eye down here, or at least two eyes. And as long as white can't make two eyes, then white is going to have to run. And we can see that black has become a lot more solid on both sides and still can hold Sente. And so it cramps up white quite a bit. This move here is definitely Sente. White's gonna have to answer, and it's gonna be like something like this, right? Because if white plays this, this would be awful for white. Right now, this is really looking bad. So I would assume this is a Sente move that puts white into like not the best shape. And even if you have to understand, you got to be okay with letting white live here. Like, you can't technically stop white from, like, you know, coming out and living, right? But you can make your opponent uncomfortable. And so yeah, I mean that's it. Like, once you make your opponent uncomfortable, you can usually take advantage of that by like making points on both sides. All right. So I marked it and I put a B here for bad, and then I'll double check my work with the AI Sensei, and if it pans out correctly, then I'll usually write it down as like a principle or like some type of lesson for my student. So this looks fine up to this point. So this move is really, really slow, right? You have like almost a 4 or 5 stone wall. So you don't want to play this close. Instead, maybe I'd play something out here, or maybe here if I was being very conservative. But man, not this close, maybe here. But when you have a wall like this, you want to expand as much as you can. So this is a very, very small. We can see just within one move, like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stone wall with only a 2 space extension. So if it wins something like this would be awful for white, like just awful. Even if we were more conservative. I like this, of course, but maybe if we played here because we cared more about the outside or being more conservative, you can see white really can't make a lot of points here, and so this should feel bad as white. So I know this is really bad. We'll see it in the AI, and then I'm mainly reviewing this for Marty, but of course I like to review for both, so we'll see. But anyway, I'll mention it in the review, but I'll write down Marty's stuff. But anyway, so yep, same stuff. Once again, this is just way too small. This looks even better for black because black has a nice extension here. Oh, and this is where black played, so perfect. This is where I would mark it with like a star or something. Because this is just the perfect move, right? He's building a base while he's cramping white's base. Already, I really like black in this game because this is a big area. This is a big area. This is a nice corner and a nice corner. And white is cramped here, small here, and small here. So right now, black has a much better opening in this position so far. Okay. Once again, this one is more of a shoulder hit, so I guess I don't mind it as much. And in fact, white's ahead in this race, so the shoulder hit is much nicer than the armpit hit. So you can see the difference between the two stones. Okay, that should be fine. It looks nice. Yep. And then at this point, white has gotten very big. So black could probably get away with something like this, or if they want to be more conservative, maybe even just jumping out here to try and break up these two and make this weaker, because this option is still always here, right? This option of trying to make white as weak as possible, right? You could definitely stop white from getting an eye here. So by splitting these two groups, you're breaking up some moyo here, and then you're hurting this. So let's see what happened. This is still pretty good because it's trying to undercut, which white I thought would block here. But yeah, this is a little small right now, so yes, okay, good, the split, perfect. I would have jumped just because you can, but I guess yeah, this is fine. The idea is still here, right? That this is weakening this, and it's giving you an in to break this up later. Very good move here. This is pretty good too. I'm wondering. I always hate trying to get this right, but yeah, I guess I think black would have been okay here. Let's just see. If we answer I probably would have tried this stone. I'm not sure if it's right or not though. I always things feel a little awkward every time somebody plays something like this. So we'll figure it out in the AI. I'll mark it so that I'll remember not this move, but the next move. Oh, so I remember to look this move up. Okay. So white jumps out, that's fine. Black jumping out also doesn't feel too bad because it's counterattacking the stone. And then black keeping these two groups split is good. You can see that this group is becoming much weaker. And this feels really off the mark. So what I assume is black is trying to break up this area. But right now this area isn't that big. Focusing on a connection first would be nice. Now if you could try some combos like these. Because now this is definitely like connected, right? But anyway, this move is wrong, and so we'll look it up and see what the best move is. I think maybe it would be around here or here, or maybe even trying to continue to keep these two cut, so maybe something like this, or cutting across the knight's move, but it might be a little, well, actually it's fine. So if white connects, then you can go for a full surround. If white Ataris, then you can connect and you get yourself quite big territory. So this cut between the knight's move would be really good. But anyway, so yeah, this is wrong. Let's see. This is good. Yeah, this is good. This still feels good. Really good. So this turn, playing here is wrong. White should have continued to put pressure on these two stones and try and stop them at all costs. So maybe something like this, or a knight's move, because we can see that it would get stopped, right? But playing back here allowed this turn, which is just devastating for this area. This is still surrounded, so I gotta let Marty know that like these stones aren't safe. They have a lot of opposition against them, so it's important to keep your connection strong. I'm probably going to be writing that down, but we'll see. Boom, so Atari. If black connected this way and white tried to cut, then you can kill. If white tried to cut this way, once again, you can just cut and kill. But even with this being connected, this is really separated from this group now. It's looking kind of scary. It can connect, but white can get quite a lot of profit and reduce black a lot. So that all stems with this move being bad, because now this area is becoming really dangerous for black. And then of course giving away the Panuki is really bad. And is this gonna live? It looks a little sus. So it did live. Okay, nice. This is great. So Marty really focuses on trying to outbeat people in the running battles. So getting this hit on the head was like really well done. And for Chip, I probably would have extended one more time at least to have 3 stones. This looks like a little too much. Wei has a lot of strength here. Yep, it was too much. So instead, just going straight would have been fine. Because white should respond, and then you can do like a cap here, or you could play something like this, or maybe something here or here. Just something that not only helps this cut, I guess, but also is breaking up this area. So I'll mark this one. We're getting pretty close to the end game now. It looks like, let me just scope it out here. With black having the entire bottom, good portion of the side, in 2 big corners, it looks like black should be leading by quite a bit. Now the estimate says otherwise, so maybe I'm wrong. I guess I can't deny that white is really big here and definitely got more here. But I guess I'm just used to when people having like really big corners that they win. So I'm a little surprised here, but let's continue. I just want to see some of the little more intricate stuff. So a lot of this, this already has 1 eye, so this didn't need to be played, right? Because no matter what white tries to do, black will get an eye here, so I wouldn't worry about that. So when we do moves that we don't have to, right? Like this is unnecessary. It's like hitting the pass button, which isn't good. We don't want to give our opponent free turns. It's pretty much playing Gote and giving them Sente. Some good Sente moves. Maybe just even like something simple like this. This is good, right? White's losing points and black is, you know, at least setting up. Oops, that's not good because then you'll get killed. So not this one, but something like this. This is gaining another point. Playing something like this would at least be Sente, right? And Trying to see if there's anything here. Well, yeah. So the idea in the end game is to try and find all the Sensei moves that white has to respond to, and that you gain points or take away points from white. Whereas this move doesn't do that. Doesn't do either, right? So it's bad. So before this move, I'm just curious on the estimate. So it still says white's winning by 13. I guess that's just, it looks like a fact at this point. Which is pretty impressive, to be honest. I'm gonna leave the end game alone. I'm gonna leave the rest of it because there's lots of stuff we can talk about. Oh geez, before the end game. Wow. Okay, let me see. Yeah. Ouch. Okay. Well, that's where the resignation came in. So let's go back. Yeah, so the reason I'm impressed that Chip was able to win, especially by just territory, is because when I look at this game, excluding this weakness, which is probably what is the reason why Black lost here, but excluding this weakness here, you know, it's Marty who had all the solid points, like a good majority of them. And so we just have to break up white now, and there's big openings for white, and so it felt like it was a better game for black. But leaving this weakness, and then the way it turned out, that destroyed Marty and gave white lots of points, and then took away a ton of points that Marty had. And so Chip did a good job of attacking the weakness here and taking over the win. Alright, so now we go to the second part of my review. The first part is I kind of pinpoint everything that either looks weird or, I definitely know is messed up, or just potentially, like, could not be right. Like, this one doesn't look right to me at all. And this one becomes so complicated, I'm not sure, like, if it really is the correct move, but I think it is. And then, yeah, so the second part is we look at AI Sensei. Usually I set it to one problem, 1 point problems, because it picks up a lot. So let's find out. So this move, the computer says it's perfectly fine, so I guess I'll leave it at that. But I sure thought that when I look at this, I'm like, man, I would much rather be black in this situation. But okay. So the first mistake was here, and this one was for Chip. So Chip, M17. When we look here, there's not going to be a lot of room for a base down here, and you can still run out. And so this group is still okay for now. So instead, the computer wants you to focus on a different area. So the rules of operations are, if you are not in danger, then you want to look for your opponent's weaknesses. If there is none, right, black strong in all three cases here, then you want to look for the biggest moves. And so in this case, breaking up this area apparently is the biggest move on this board right now. This looks scary though to me, because I see one weak group and I see another weak group. So it's like I wouldn't want to create two weak groups. But I suppose if they both live, then black really didn't get too many points. So all right. So this was very close to being a mistake. I did remember poking this move out and talking about M18, just out of my own curiosity. Yep. Okay. So this is like definitely the best move, and it's because of what I said. Right. It makes this group much weaker and more uncomfortable, and it puts white in a forced shape that isn't the best in the situation. So black has a really good situation and white has to respond, so it makes it kind of feel like a bad situation. little complicated to talk to explain, but it is correct. So I'm gonna write it down here. I'm gonna call this principle take your Sensei moves. And so M18 is Sensei and puts white in bad shape. It makes white uncomfortable. Okay. So we're gonna move on. So this is supposed to be a jump. Let me put it back to 1 because this to me doesn't look like a mistake. But what I will do is not write a full principle for it, like this one, but I'll just put a marker and talk to him like, you know, this is what the computer suggests, and I'm pretty sure just Wikipedia is the same way. I don't run into this Joseki too often, but I remember that because you have so many liberties, you can jump. Yeah. So just keep it. Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep it at that. I think this is fine. Although this would probably be better. I wonder if AI Sensei thinks it's a mistake. No, it's fine. Okay. I think it's fine. This looks really bad. Yes, it's terrible. So white should have played something over here. Just like I thought it would be something like here or here, but I can see why white really wants to break up this area. So, okay. So what I do in this case is I'll put my move on the board and explain my thinking. I'll put the B for the bad move, and then I'll put the C standing for the computer move, and I'll talk about usually all three for a little bit. So yeah, we'll move on. So of course the computer still wants this move going. So I'll just mark it, but I already have it written down why, so I'm not going to, you know, reiterate it. I will talk about this one though. So I didn't mark this. It wasn't like a huge red flag for me, but now that I see there's a red flag on it, I know why. And the reason is because these 3 stones are already very safe, right? They're not going to get killed. They can live. And so taking a bigger move is the better option, right? The orders of operations. I'm going to say it as many times as everyone needs to hear it, but the first thing you want to do is look for your own weaknesses. If you're strong enough, then you can look for your opponent's weaknesses. And then if you can't find them, like this is the opponent's weakness, or something like this, but if you can't find them, then the next thing you want to do is look for the biggest moves, right? So big move, big move, big move, big move, big move, big move, right? Anything that will get you a lot of points, usually over 8 points, is a very big move. So in this case, 3 stones, they're safe, and so this is considered slow because it is safe. Though to be fair, if I was playing this game, I probably would jump as well, or I wouldn't want to extend because it feels too slow. So like just like this was fine, and this would be fine in my case. So this would be something I would play. I'll mark it, and then I'll put the B for bad, and then I will find the best move, which is another move that I would have really wanted to get and find. So So let's see. So this one is principal worthy, so I'm gonna write it down. I'll write orders of operations. If you're safe, look for your opponent's weak groups or big moves. All right, so let's see. So once again, this is a really bad move. The idea is you have this big wall, so you want to expand as far as you can. That's a good principle in general. I praise this move, and I really, really like it. I'm shocked the computer doesn't like it that much. Maybe it's because A is so much better, right? Like, this is so good to attack. And C, we saw in a few of the variations that this was a weakness. So, blocking this weakness is, an intelligent thing to do. And then B is similar, almost doing kind of both jobs as B and C, right? So B is trying to get in front of white and hit the head of 2 stones and cramp this up, while B is also assisting this area, right, of helping it become stronger and harder for white to invade. So, even though I think this is a really good move, because it pretty much just hurts this area here for white and expands black. But the computer thinks that this is the more important direction of play. So what I'll do is I will mark it and we will talk about it. But I still really like this move, so of course I'll let him know that. Okay, that's good. That one, I think is fine. I think it's good. Continuing this race is obviously nice because you're reducing black while you're building more of white. And then the computer can find this nice invasion here. So if black can't make the points here, then it must be nice to flatten him out like this. Okay. So, so for Chip, this is kind of like your review because I'm talking about your stuff a lot in this. I know you won't be present in Marty's review, but so this one's just as much for you as Marty then. But for Chip, I guess you could have used your attachments and or continued the running race, right? Like these two groups are running. It's a running battle. And so staying ahead of in the race is always like a good idea. Okay, let's see what else we got. That was good. I thought it was good. I thought this was good. I thought this jump was good, but maybe there's a weakness here. Let's see. I'm kind of surprised. I can see that how harmful it is when white plays here. But I also feel like leaving these cutting points doesn't feel too good, right? Wow. To allow white to cut here is crazy to me because these black stones look stupid now, and these ones had to make some moves to defend itself. So it feels really strange, but I mean the computer knows best. All right, so I still like this move. I'm not gonna mark it as a mistake. This one I could see as a mistake. Yes, you don't want to be undercut here, but if once you play A, once you play A, you can see that now these two groups are connected, and this middle here is becoming way bigger. And white starts playing moves to try and make the middle bigger. So anyway, oh, let's find some more weaknesses and stuff we can talk about. So I did actually mention this. which I'm kind of happy, right? The one thing that's nice about reviewing double-digit Q or single-digit Q games is it's like I'm playing the guessing game, right? Like when I started marking all this stuff, I'm guessing like, well, not guessing, but I'm trying to find the best moves for everyone, right? And um, so yeah, so what I'll do is mark it and then talk about it. So move 45 keeps both groups C and D split apart. So keeping your opponent split is the best, is one of the best strategies. Along with breaking up this Moyo, like it has a dual purpose. It's a dual purpose move that's really good. And it's also kind of preventing White's like Sente-ish move here, because when White plays here, then White's gonna get the Atari later. So it does that as well, but I'm just not gonna write that down. I'll just let him know when we do the review. But this is good so far. So we have like three really important moves that happen in this game. I usually look for 5 or 6 like important subjects to review in the game. And I try and break them down into these like little I don't know what you'd call them, but keywords, right? And so they try and stick, right? Like, you know, take your Sente moves, use your order of operations, keep your opponent split, right? Like I try and use these keywords to really get it going. So in the game, White played here, which was really bad, and then it allowed Black to do the split. So Black got its cake, and it got to eat it too, which was great for Black. So I'm very curious. Okay, so this is what I would have played in the game, but I'm very curious on how it would work. Okay, I mean, it looks simple enough. I'm wondering if White would play 2 here, though. So when we have these questions, we can actually hit trial board, which is awesome. So what if White played here? This is what I want to know. Which Atari should we take? How should we respond? The little frowny face is fun. Okay, so Atari. Extend. Okay, Atari. Let's see. And this one, obviously, this stone gets killed. Let's see this one. Is he? Yep, I was gonna say, is he gonna Atari here? Because it's like almost like a ladder. I would definitely not Tanuki here. Like if White loses all these stones, that would be bad, right? So. Okay, sorry, this is taking a long time. I just, for my own curiosity at this point. So Black should be able to connect under, and then White should be able, but then it becomes a bad clump. Right, so A, Ari, connect, B, okay. I see, so White's gonna definitely live here, but using the influence on the outside, I guess Black's gonna try and like kill this group or something. That is some really heavy reading. But that's something I couldn't read to see why this move is good if white can do all these shenanigans here. So that's why it's nice to do these trial boards when you have those questions. So let's just mark it and we'll talk about it. So in this case, I definitely would have played here. And then, what did I put in A here? Well, I'd leave it at that. I know why I put an A here. Oh, I guess it's for the, that's fine. So let me see what the computer thought about these moves. So yes, this is good splitting. This was bad because it can be cut in so many ways. Knight's moves usually can be cut, so you have to read the ladders to make sure that it works. And even with the ladder working, then we have the Satari connection under. So this knight's move is inappropriate here. It should have been a diagonal or a jump or something down here. But yeah, this was wrong. So this is the move that I really wanted. Like this is what I said might be the losing move here because, you know, right now black's in such a good position and then it just got ruined because this can be cut and is weak. So let's see what the computer thought. Computer just wanted to jump. And B is one of the options, which is one of the ones I was thinking. So let's see the jump first. So by jumping, it's helping surround this. And so that's why this defense and attack continues to happen, because this isn't fully settled yet. So by making your opponent uncomfortable, then you can, you know, obviously make this good for black. So then let's see if how the connection works here. Well, that's very simple. So it's very simple. We don't even really need much thought into this. Although this is interesting. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. For him to try and run out and survive here, it looks pretty dangerous because white has a lot of strength everywhere. And then white can build points this way. So I'm a little surprised at this, but what I will say about it is, even if we just do the most simplest thing, so like 3, and then like even just pushing here with 5, and then jumping up here, and then jumping out here, I think would be more than fine just to take your safe points and then jump around. Jump up, and get down. Okay, so I'll mark it. So the first one was this one, second was that one. Put the B for the bad and C for the other one. So oops. So then I write it down, move 54 or 53. Save the weak group, that's what I'm gonna write. Your stones are disconnected right now, so excuse me. So the focus to connect or strengthen them. So with A, you're strengthening these stones. With C, you're trying to connect these stones. With B, this is bad because you just made a knight's move. And remember, knight's moves can be cut, right? And so, like, even just simply playing here, here, and here, this ladder is good for white. So this would only strengthen white, and it would give white more power in the center. So it's just very simple to understand that you always want to read the knight's moves and see if the ladder works or not. In this case, I don't think it's really good for black. So this knight's move is bad, and then we'll move on. Alright, so let's see what other mistakes we got here. So yeah, that was pretty slow. Um, this double Atar, Hane, it doesn't look like it should work well here. For white to respond with this too, it doesn't look right. Let me do my own testing real quick. So, even if it just went like this, I guess it's, yeah, I guess it's okay. I guess there's no need to exchange this. For some reason I thought there was a ladder here, but there isn't. So, okay. So the double Hane would have been nice here. Always read the double Hanes. I've been telling my students that a lot. Not that I did when I was doing the review, so I got caught. But yeah, the double Hane would have been really nice here. So let me mark that down. Bop bop. Move 57. And running battles, always read the double Hane Tetsuji first. Okay. So once again, these are the weak stones, and so they should be the focus. So black wants to get stronger, and then black wants to, I guess, put pressure on these stones. But I could see why you'd want to get stronger here. It makes the nice dog face shape. So when we look, this is a very good eye shape. Like we're trying to make eyes with this shape, or just staying in connected in general. You can see that it's very easy to make eyes with the dog face shape. So let's see. So at this point, A and B. Yep, let's talk about this one because I know this one's not good. This feels really good. I'm surprised it's considered a big mistake, but it's because these are so weak that, you know, the focus should have been on these like 15 moves ago, right? And so that's why I'm thinking. But yeah, okay. So this was the big mistake. So let me just see the most easiest one for me to understand, which is C. And it's pretty much it looks like the same exact thing we looked at earlier. So I'm just gonna mark it. And I kind of already wrote like that you should, you know, strengthen your weak stones and, you know, try and connect them. So I'm not gonna rewrite it again. But this was kind of like the last chance to win this game for black. And then once this became a big thing, like now the game has swung full motion to white. And I bet the computer, like this, that was just my judgment, right? Like I don't have a bar showing like when black lost, right? I know it like in my heart, right? Like I know I can just judge that once we get to here. Yep, now white just full swung. You know, just a few moves ago, black had 8 points, but now white has 8 points. So it was all because of how this was handled. And without even having to look at just, you know, this move and the other moves, we knew, you know, 30, 40 moves ago that like these stones needed help and they just never got help. So we can look at this variation, but we already know what we should have done a while ago. Still though, I guess it can't hurt to show this one off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fix the weakness 6. Attack this stone, creating some eye shape 7, 8, 9, 10. Huh? I'll put this in here. And so this should be good enough to be alive, which is, for me, I would have had to done some reading for that, but let me just put it in here so that we know. Okay, and then at this point, with white being in the lead, I think white just stayed in the lead. There was some small mistakes here and there, and definitely some mistakes in the end game for sure. Especially, losing these stones. There was this one up here, but I would pretty much say this is already a lot for my student to focus on. And so usually when I reach 5 or 6 big lessons and find the like major losing move, helping him find it and then leading him to better moves obviously is my goal. So also I'm not the strongest at the end game, and so it's a little hard for me to review it. So I review to my strengths, right? I'm usually very strong with opening theory, direction of play, usually shape. So those are the things I focus on with my students, and they've all been improving very well. So that's it. I know this was a little long and had some pauses and some I don't know, stalls. But this is how I review my students' games. Usually it takes me about 30 to 40 minutes before I even see the student. And then I'll go over it and express all these with them and show them with the AI and using the Giusecopedia button when need to. So if you're interested in taking any lessons with me, just message me on Discord. I'm the admin for the MGA Discord, the Massachusetts Go Association. And you can find me on Facebook and stuff, or OGS, right? My username is Mikito S. So feel free to send me a message. But that's it. I'll end it here, and I'll be teaching my student in 40 minutes. So I'll be reviewing this all over again with him. I hope you have a good day. Take it easy. Bye.